here's the deal. Cool intros aside, it was a tough day. It was a tough day, and this is the cardinal sin. The cardinal sin for YouTube is to tell you guys what's going on in this video before it even happens. Now, there wasn't a lot of fish catches, but we learned a bunch today. So hopefully you stick around, you see through our eyes kind of like what we were doing and what our thought process was. It was tough for everybody, but a couple guys killed it, which was sweet. I mean, you're going to have that at every tournament. There's guys that find them. There's guys that don't find them. We found plenty. We just couldn't get them to bite. So we hope you stick around, see what went down, breaking down the day for you and, of course, for us as well, because, you know, we're always learning stuff. And that's the point. You know, you have to learn from everything, whether you're killing it or you're not killing it. And for us, it was just kind of one of those days, you know. It happens. You can't win them all. But we had a blast. We had a lot of fun. All right, so enough of that. Back to the awesome intro. It was a little PSA. You know, I mean, you know, it happens. It happens around here. What can I say? You know? Okay, listen, everybody has a pre-game kind of ritual. Tournaments. What are the stigmas? What are the myths? Bananas on a boat. First cast. Can't catch fish on the first cast, you know. Banana on the boat thing's weird. That came from a very, very long time ago. Banana boats going down. It had to do with spiders and a bunch of other shit that I don't like, so whatever. Bananas are amazing, though. And I eat bananas all the time. So I don't really care about that one, but I still didn't bring one. So I guess there's that. Who knows? Also, I have a you know, like the tournament deal. Like, I could have worn pants and regular shoes and all that stuff, but like the better tournaments that I've fished, for whatever reason, I've fished with flip-flops and shorts. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's confidence, right? I mean, confidence is huge. Anytime when you're fishing, especially in a tournament, you have to be confident, and that's kind of what you revert back to, is your confidence. So anyway, you know, a little tidbit. This is my ritual, though. You're going to watch it right here. You're going to see it. You're going to see it right here. So let's check it out. First thing, very important, the fat guy waggle. See that? You see it? Here's a slow-mo version. The little fat guy waggle. So we got that out of the way. Okay. And then you got to do the cast. You got to do the one cast. Can't catch any fish on that cast. It's very important. Everybody knows that. So reel that in real quick. Now here's where I differ. Okay. Second cast got to be a bird's nest. I do it every time. Ask Cody. It's hilarious. Got to go with the bird's nest. Chicks dig it. Fish are really into it also. Meanwhile, Brian's been fishing for 18 minutes. I'm still screwing with my reel, my rod. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm throwing topwater, by the way, which is, you know, super. I threw topwater for roughly 5 minutes, and then it was time for drop shot. We did throw a lot of stuff today, though. We threw a bunch. Yeah, we threw, I mean...
See exactly where you see them at.
Yeah, here, this kind of speaks to, like, the active fish in the area.
Brush piles.
Yeah, they usually, yeah, makes sense.
We had active fish all day. Every spot we landed on, we saw fish moving around, but or we physically saw them in the water if we didn't see them on the active target. So water temp about, you know, 57 to 60 degrees. We're going to our second spot here. Crystal clear water. Crystal clear water. We're at 20 feet of visibility in most spots. It's pretty ridiculous. But that's pretty normal for San V. This lake in San Diego, that's pretty normal for this place. So, you know, it wasn't like a big deal. Ended up being a rad day, by the way. Just beautiful outside. When Brian gets caught up in a bunch of trees here, like, bless his heart, he probably retied about 95 times. I love that dude to death. He finally went to a cover shot, which caught 0 fish, just like me. Not sure if there was something to that. We'll talk about it later. But he got caught a bunch of times in trees. Here I am retying.
Come on.
Are you?
Yeah.
We had to beef some stuff out. Brian just, he says his thing, man. He goes off a little bit. I do too. So we get excited.
Healthy one too. Feel him. Woo-hoo-hoo. Good shit.
That first fish was a little over 2 pounds. It's like 2 pounds, like 2.1, almost 2.2 pounds. So we're going to our third spot actually. We fished around there for a while. We couldn't find anything. I mean, again, this is an island in the middle of this lake, and we cruised around. Checked out some humps, some rocks, stuff like that. Here's Brian retying again while I'm messing with the active target.
Seen anything, Paul?
Not structured.
That's about it, huh?
I started throwing a jig. Little baby jig with a Cinco, half a Cinco on the back of it. I call it a Ned jig, thanks to old Greg Blanchard there on YouTube. If you haven't checked his stuff out, he's a kayak fisherman. He's a bad dude, man.
Did you?
So far I've gone top water, drop shot, jig, crankbait, jerkbait. I've gone about 5 different jerkbaits I tied on, about 5 or 6 different crankbaits I tied on, different deeper stuff, you know, whatever, man. I was throwing, yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is our, I think, 4th spot. Another main lake, kind of a main lake point that goes back into this arm here. I'm throwing a spinnerbait right now. And I want you to pay attention, man. You know, like, Brian's throwing a underspin, or was throwing underspin for most of that bank. He got bit once.
You're welcome, Joe.
There you go, Joe. Joe P. Fishing a tournament and at another lake, and he won that tournament actually. So here's what I want you to pay attention to. I want you to pay attention to the patience that Brian has, because I don't have it. Neither does Cody. We run and gun. Now, he soaks his bait this entire time, right? And he's kind of in the middle of the gut, maybe just on this side of the gut. And So we're running in about 12 feet of water right here, and he's probably in about 20, because as you can see, if you're looking at the bank, it goes down, same kind of deal, right? It doesn't really change. The contour keeps going once it hits the lake. Again, I'm throwing spinner bait, I'm throwing all this stuff, you know, trying to get it. The water's a little dingier in here because there was some wind blowing, and that for me helped me kind of develop. Okay, well, maybe if it's dingy, they're going to start running after some flashy stuff, which they did do, but they didn't commit. See that boat right there on the left? Those guys, we should have just followed those guys all day. Both of the fish, fun fact, both fish that we caught, those guys were there.
Come on.
This dude just lights out. So this is, you know, a couple hours into the event, about 3.5 hours into the event. I was holding it down with the netting today, just FYI. You guys need a net guy? I'm your guy. Watch my form here. I'm not messing around.
Two of them. Finally. Good keeper, dude.
And he was almost exactly right. 1.5 pounds. It was just over 1.5 pounds.
Last one was 212. Yeah. This one's not as fat though.
We missed the pattern, by the way. I'll tell you about it later.
Thanks, buddy.
Alright, let's, where's the...
Oh, the scale's right there. There? Yeah.
So now I'm throwing the Berkeley Gilly. This is probably like 4 casts in. You'll notice you'll hear some birds to the left over here that I check out. Check this out.
Ooh.
Over.
Holy shit, that was a big ass fish, bro.
Really? Where's he at?
I can't stress enough. When you're throwing bigger baits, when you're throwing swim baits, stuff like that, you have to pay attention to what's going on behind that swim bait. Because I'm not saying I would have caught this fish, and it would have helped. Definitely, it was over 6 for sure. But you got to pay attention, because I could have maybe stopped it, popped it a couple times. Who knows? Now we're in the back. This is what I'd like to call pre-bed fish. Pre-bedding fish. What's pre-bedding fish? Well, I'm going to tell you. Pre-bedding fish are assholes. They have zero interest in your bait. Okay? They're cruising around, sniffing ass. They're trying to chase, man. They're chasing each other. And we sat back here.
Oh! I turned to see what was going on. Is that one linked to this one?
So, yeah, these fish will just piss you off all day.
Right there. Down there.
We threw the entire boat at these fish. There was probably 5 or 6 of them back there. And they were all, I mean, we would have filled the limit easy. It would have been maybe about 10, 12 pounds. So we would have been right in the mix. But they just weren't interested. Might have been a timing thing. You know, we actually wanted to come back here. And we'll talk about that a little later, but we did want to come back.
Big baits are spinning. Nico. however, they did chase the underspin. I got bit.
So we're talking about adapting. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? You got to adapt. And so that's kind of what we were doing here. We threw a bunch of different baits at him. We were thinking maybe small Ned rig, Nico rig, something like that. Weightless Cinco. We tried all that stuff. We ran up this bank here for a lot farther, almost all the way out, and saw fish the entire way up that bank. But we were just too close to them. And the water's so clear and so clean, they looked at the bait, but they didn't really want much to do with it. And that just speaks to, you know, fish being smarter than us. I mean, what can you say? It is what it is. So we move on. We go to the best. We go to another spot, and we try our luck. You know, we hit about, I would say about 9-10 different spots today, and I mean everywhere from all the way back in the back of a cut to main lake points, road beds. We're going to see that coming up. We're coming up to a point right now where this is normally in the water. So this water's down quite a bit, probably 15 feet minimum. And I've fished over top of this right here before, and probably had 5-6 feet of water between the boat and that, all those rocks, and that's a really good place to fish. They bed down right there. And so we fished this point. There's a little river that comes out here from a waterfall that you're going to see coming up, and we fished the river. We fished the waterfall. You know, this time of year, most every time of year, running water is, if you can find water coming into a lake, you're gonna more than likely find fish. So, you know, we start fishing, you know, high priority spots, you know, stuff, you know, target rich environments as we'd like to call them. But there's the waterfall right there. There's a river that comes out, you know, a little river channel, and we fished both sides of it. We fished the middle of it. We decided to come out. Main lake, right around that corner to the left over there is the launch ramp. This is a road bed right here that kind of goes over, and so we fished the entire road bed around to the other side. Again, we saw a bunch of fish moving around. They just were not interested in what we had to offer, which is, you know, it is what it is, man. We tried. We ran hard, man. We threw a bunch of different stuff. We decided to come to the other side of the lake, which I've had some luck. At this point, we're trying to fish a little bit of history, which can get you in trouble. And believe me, I mean, there's theories on both of that, on both sides of that, right? Theories about fishing history is not good, but when you haven't caught any fish, when you're seeing fish, you want to be, again, it goes back to what you're comfortable with and what you're confident in, and that includes parts of this lake. Now you can see kind of in front of the boat there's a mud line. It's been blowing all day. We started, maybe we'll fish that mud line, nothing. We go back into this cut. I was throwing a spinner bait, got a decent fish to come react on it. It swiped at it and missed. I followed up with a drop shot. It swung on the drop shot and just at the last minute decided no. I mean, it was it was that kind of day for us, man. Whether it was like a color thing, which, you know, we were switching up colors all day, and everything from morning dawn to green pumpkin and everything in between. This is where we decided, we told each other, okay, we're going back to where those fish were. We wanted to end the day throwing on those fish that we saw. Problem is, there was a couple other teams that were also thinking that exact same thing, and they got back there before us. So, you know what? I don't know if they caught fish there, to be honest with you. We didn't ask, obviously. That's not, you know, we didn't even get close to them. As soon as we saw those guys back there, we just turned around, went down another arm, and decided we were going to end our day running bank for the last 45 minutes. And you're going to hear right here, actually you're not going to hear it because I didn't put the audio in, but that's the alarm going off on my phone, which means that is it. All right, so the GoPro stopped. Stopped recording even though it said it was recording. It's a pretty typical thing. Let me pull these suckers off because I don't need to hear about anything anymore. We've had issues with GoPros. That's just the way it is. Sometimes they record, sometimes they don't. They're showing that they're recording, but they're not. It's unfortunate, I would say. I would say unfortunate's a good term to use without me wanting to throw it off the boat. We had all the footage of us on takeout, going up, sitting in line, because at this tournament, you know, we're in line and we're driving up to the weigh-in. And it's cool. We had a lot of time to talk. So while we were in line, we immediately started asking each other what we thought, you know, went wrong. You know, what went wrong? Was there something that we weren't doing? And what can we do at the next event that's gonna give us increase our chances to catch fish? And we came up with a few things. Brian came up with probably the best one of the day, and that was that we just weren't stealthy enough. When you have that kind of visibility, these fish, their environment, they know everything that's going on way you know, what am I saying? Way more than we do. And they can see us way before we see them. That being said, both times that we got fish to the boat, those fish, that was a long cast. Brian casted a ways away and got bit probably at almost the farthest point of the cast. So that's not me, unfortunately, and that needs to be me for tournament time. For tournament time, we need to understand, we need to fail fast. You're going to hear that a lot with us. Fail fast, meaning that when you're fishing a tournament, especially, but also when you're just fun fishing, if you can't develop a pattern, you need to fail. Tell yourself you're done and move on. You need to move on. And that's the big takeaway here. If you're not getting bit and there's fish there, you need to move. Throw the baits that you think are going to get bit. And in a day like this, it's wintertime. It's going into pre-spawn, but these fish, they go in waves. Everybody, you guys have heard this, right? It goes in waves, goes in waves. So understand that there's certain fish that are going to be up and there's certain fish that are going to be back still, and that's just the way it works. There's a pecking order. So if you're catching them in 20 to 30 feet of water, you need to continue to try and catch them in 20 to 30 feet of water. You need to slow down. You need to throw a Ned rig. If you can't, you know, you need to go through your progressions, and then you need to bounce. So that's kind of the takeaway. Brian hit it right on the head. We weren't stealthy enough. We weren't throwing far enough away from the boat. We were relying too much on the active target, or at least I was, and trying to find fish that I could physically throw on because I could see them on the screen. And that's kind of a problem because I get caught up looking at that damn screen, and you know, it is what it is. So when I say that, I look at that screen and I mess with it, and I'm always checking it. I'm always looking down on it. That's what I do when I'm offshore. But it moves up with me, so I'm constantly looking. And we need to fish slower. We need to be more methodical. This time of year especially, unless you get like a really warm snap where there's a few days that it's warm and it's stable, these fish are going to start moving. They're going to start eating. But that just wasn't the case. So it's hard for me to do that. I know it. I think that's like the first step. Maybe that's something else. Anyway, never mind. All right, so here it is. Here's the deal. They won 1560. Greg Miser, Travis Hergus. Sorry if I screwed your name up. Great job today. You guys rocked it. Two guys at 15 pounds, 14, 13, all the way down. All the way down. People caught fish, man. I mean, we were the only, we caught 2 fish. That was it. There was only a couple guys below us that weren't figuring out either, but you know, they caught fish. It is what it is, man. I mean, again, here we are in 28th place out of 30 boats. So, boom. It happens. It's part of the gig. You learn from it. We hope you guys enjoyed the video. if you want to check out, we used a lot of baits today. We'll put some down in the video description. Inland baits, threw a bunch of inland bait stuff. Brent over there really helped us out, gave us a bunch of those baits, which was awesome. We ate some bag of bull beef jerky while we were on the boat. You guys need to check those guys out too, right here in the video. We're going to show you 10% off. 50 bucks and over gets you free shipping. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button and hit that ding right there so that you guys can be up to date on all the videos that we got coming out, man. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to do a bunch more of these tournament videos coming up, and we're going to get better, because everybody does, as long as you keep, you know, keep that process going. That's how it works here. I mean, you know what? I need a drink, man. Relax. It's water. I used a couple of them that night, though. Don't get me wrong. I had some drinks afterwards, but it was fun, man. I can't wait to fish again. I think we're gonna fish in a couple weeks at another lake down in San Diego, another ABA event, and we'll be there. So got some videos coming out. We got videos coming out from back east, Dale Hollow. Some guy, you know, Brent and Cody were out there fishing. That was awesome. So we got that going, and we got more of these videos coming. We got some more line videos coming out and so forth. So stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoy. We love you guys. Take care.